Okie dokie. So, apologies about that bit of a camera drag there, but we are into the next best of three. It is going to be TY versus Rogue, which should be a fantastic one. And alright, here we are, up in the top left-hand side of the map. The map is Kairos Junction. It is Rogue for Team Jin Air. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it is TY. TY, a fantastic Terran player. However, he's been having a rough go of it today, dropping to Solar. And then dropping to Cure as well in a close TvT. So, judging from TY today and yesterday, I want to say that Rogue's going to take it. That's my guess. I ain't putting no hat-eating bet or anything on it, but heart and head says Rogue. If TY plays anything like he played against Solar, I definitely just think that it's going to be a quick one or a solid victory for Rogue. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in and sticking with these awesome games, by the way. Just, it is a long one. There's no doubt about that. I am, however, enjoying the games absolutely. Reaper on the way here. Followed up by a double queen. So very standard openings here. TY, he's doing it again. If I was Rogue and I had watched TY's game versus Solar, I'd have 16 pooled him, man, or 14 pooled, whatever the correct number of pool is, to have two Lings be here right now. Reaper comes on in. Trying to bruise up a drone. So far, so good. Micro, well done on both sides. However, the Zerg does things right. You're generally not going to lose a drone. Maybe a Ling or two, not a drone. Queen gets tossed there. We got a second to lag. Do apologize about that. Let's see how this is gonna go. I gotta put my money on Rogue. As much as I love TY, as much as I love Kier, I think it's the Zergs and the Protoss getting out of this group. The most represented race in this tournament is Terran, but they're not blowing me away just yet. Of course, we've got some monsters tomorrow. They are fantastic players, or fantastic player, at least I know, as far as the Terrans go. Yes, we've got Fantasy and Innovation tomorrow on the Terran side of things. Reaper is running on in here. Or Ling is running on in here, pardon me, was being chased by the Reaper. Now we're seeing a drop. Okay, so it's going to be one of these marine tank pushes with SCVs in the mix for TY. So he's going to try and hit Rogue a little bit earlier. A little bit sooner than standard attack coming from a Terran. Most likely going to be setting tanks up behind here. Or just setting up bunkers or something like that. The tanks boost on in. There we go, bunker getting set up. Spore Crawler taking a bit of, or Medivac taking a bit of damage from the Spore Crawler. Tanks annihilate a Roach already. I think what you need to do if you're Rogue is just make a big swell of Lings. That being said, these tanks still not in position to shoot the hatchery, so the pressure isn't too great on the Zerg right now. A very nice wall and choke point set up, though. But look at this, Rogue is just going for it. He's attacking into this choke point. No questions asked. No Ravagers in the mix. Just one Ravager comes forward, but that's not going to be enough to damage that down. Queens don't focus fire down the Medivac, so that is still alive. That being said, most of TY's army was cleared out here, so it's just 4 Marines and the 2 tanks. He is going to bite into this position, though. Keep hanging on. He's holding on for dear life here. This Siege Tank, Liberator, and 4 Marines hiding in this bunker are doing work. There's a potential Ling counterattack from Rogue being attempted. However, TY with his 3rd and a wall up, he is completely fine in that regard. And somehow, the Zerg player needs to shut this down because this Terran player is just happily macroing up behind this. Lings are trying to come on in here, get a surround on the tanks. Here he goes. Corrosive Bile gets dropped, trying to hit the Liberator. The Queens didn't come in with this attack, though. It might just be cleaned on up here by the Zerg. It's going to be close. The Liberator going down, probably marking the end of this. However, still a very nice attack with TY. Definitely got the damage done that he needed. A 4th is already on the way for Rogue, which is nice for him. However, just everything considered, there's not a lot going on for Rogue behind this. He's down on workers by a very significant margin. He's making more roaches and lings, but he's kind of middle of the roading it for now. And as a result, he's down on workers, so this is looking good for TY. Does Rogue, say, try and counterattack? And he might have wanted to, but he can't because of the tanks, because of the Marines. Stim is just starting for TY, so Rogue has room to breathe. However, this is a Terran player who's just getting up his 3rd base, whereas the Zerg player really just was allowed to breathe at his 3rd base. 12 drones are on the way for Rogue. This is going to help him really saturate this location up and keep his economy going, but TY with that attack just very well done. Rogue's first attack didn't clean it up, and with those it's either you usually succeed or you don't. Rogue didn't quite succeed cleaning it up. It was close, but he's in a bit of a rough situation since he just didn't quite have enough to deal with that. Rogue, more and more drones are on the way. 1-1 is on the way for Roaches and Ravagers, but just Roachman versus a Terran player who's getting up tanks, who's getting up a ton of Marines. I don't know, it's tough to say. Maybe we'll just have to see Rogue go for something like a mass Roach Max. I don't know, it's not a common thing, that's for sure, but he doesn't seem to have time to get up anything else. He's going for a counterattack here, he's just trying to get on top of the tank. That sends him back very easily. TY already thrown up a 4th base, so showing that he's willing to take this game to the macro stage, even though he got himself a very nice opening. A lot of respect there as a Terran player. Army supply in general, Rogue is ahead, but that is dirty Roach supply. That is not good. That is not premium Zerg supply right there. Workers, Rogue is shooting up in that number to a very, very healthy amount. However, now he's got to hold on, so it's probably just got to be units from here on out if he's going to stop TY, and it might even just be a little bit too late because TY is moving in. He's got 5 siege tanks with this army, a good number of Marines. Rogue is going to need some serious bulk to hold on here. He should probably start killing off these rocks if I was the Zerg player because TY is coming on in hot. Rogue, I think he definitely does need to break down those rocks immediately, or he doesn't even have time. TY is just coming on in, rolling on in with Marines and tanks. And Rogue with all that, he's made a ton of Roaches, a ton of Ravagers, and he's teching into a hive, so if he can buy enough time, okay, that would be a nice find for him. He gets the tank, a few Marines get saved. Still a bit rough for him, though. Marines, tanks, rolling on in here for TY. Both players very high up on supply. We are seeing 29 vein lengths being produced for the Zerg player right now. He doesn't have that same super hook. Still finds the connections he wants versus those Marines. However, still, this could be a bit rough for Rogue right now. He's trying to hold on. He's making a real game out of it, but TY is now here. He's starting to try and choke out the Zerg player. And let's take a look. Looks like Rogue's just trying to collapse on top. This needs to drop Corrosive on the tank. With such a high number of Ravagers, he can annihilate those tanks. He is attacking into that tank fire, though, and As a result, it's a bit of a double-edged sword picking off those tanks, but you take a lot of shots in the process here. More corrosive bile being dropped down. A lot of the Terran's bile has been whittled down. However, TY's army is standing strong for now. Keep in mind, TY, he's heading towards 2-2 as this is going on as well. Rogue has nothing else going for him. He doesn't have any upgrades coming his way. He got a Hive up, but that is it. He's got Ravagers and Queens still standing. He's made a few Banelings, but his hatchery is under fire right now. He's got a ton of Lings. He's just going for it. Corrosive Biles is raining down. Going to try and pick off the Liberators, hitting a few Medivacs. More Corrosive Biles are going down. Can Rogue hang on here? It's going to be very, very close. There's still just a few too many tanks, it would seem. He's dropping Corrosive Bile on them. He's trying to pick them off, but it's just Queens. Why? Takes game number 1 in this best of 3. Okay. And very well done by TY, doing what he needs to do there. Just had a strong opening. Rogue tried to make a game out of it, but TY just had a little bit too much there. And we will get on into the next game as soon as we can. Okay, here we are. We are loading on in. Okay, can TY take it 2-0? That would be a good start to get back into this tournament, knocking down Rogue. Earn you some points, because if TY drops this series, he might very well be toast. Because let's say Cure could end up below him. Rogue could still end up below him. It's tough to call exactly, but it would be tough for him to advance if he drops 3 matches. It's doable, but would be tough. And anyway, up in the top left-hand side of the map, he's looking good not to drop 3 matches so far. It's Splice TY. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing for Team Jin Air, it is Rogue. See what Rogue's gonna bust out versus his opponent in this game. SCV's coming on in here, getting set up in the refinery. Nothing out. Oh, wait a second. I was going to say nothing out of the ordinary, but we are seeing that early pool from Rogue, and I love it. TY, he is in a position to be vulnerable from this, assuming that he continues his trend. And as far as if you're a Rogue fan, this is what you want. Knowing like just the way StarCraft goes sometimes, there's a chance that TY will change things up, maybe SCV Scout. Or keep his Reaper back at home, or make a Marine follow-up. But as far as Rogue playing to his opponent right now, this is a very good call. Let's see what this Reaper is going to do. Is it going to cross the map? Another barracks goes up. So that means this is probably going to be a 2-1-1. Does he keep the Reaper at home, though? Because he's going right into a reactor. Oh, it's tough to say. Does TY do it? Where's that Reaper going? He's going across the map. Where's he sending him? Is he going to meet these Lings? It's not looking like it. Rogue's Lings are taking the long way around, so if TY gets on in and immediately turns the Reaper around, it might not be too bad for him. Does he turn around right away? Yes, he does. So now it's a race for these Lings getting across. But yeah, okay, look at that. Rogue, he does actually tuck those Lings away because they weren't the quickest Lings to get across there. I guess not an early enough of a pool. And now we see TY, who's going for this 2-1-1 build here. Okay, there should be a tech lab on the way. There we go. Guys, I should go over this replay. I gotta do this because whenever I play, I have a tough time getting this 2-1-1 off without a hitch. And I'm willing to bet TY is a Terran who knows how to do it pretty darn well. I'm excited to see this build. It's a confident statement from TY because when you're doing this versus an opponent like an opponent like Rogue. It is a bold, bold statement, and oh man, this could be rough here. Can this mule be saved? It's going to be close. Looks like it will be fine. Marines and SCVs working together. Send those Lings off. Just one of the Lings survives. That Reaper's looking for him. Does he get him? Oh, he does. Reaper puts down that Ling. And yeah, you just gotta say, right? Like, that this is a confidence statement from TY, because a 2-1-1 is a build which is mapped out completely. Completely. And anytime you see a Terran work versus a Zerg with a 2-1-1, they outplay the Zerg. There's no other truth about it. Zergs have practiced versus this build a lot. And TY going for this is very exciting. If he can make it work versus Rogue, that is a sick testament to his skill. Or Rogue, say, bungles up somehow because it's been so long since he defended one of these. But a 2-1-1. If you're a Terran player who wants to learn how to play Terran, learn how to do a 2-1-1, learn how to macro out of it. And maybe don't take my word for it because I have a tough time with that. But it's just such a build that allows you to practice drops all over the place. Other kinds of play and whatnot. Because drops for Terran, I feel, aren't as popular as they used to be. The race back in, say, Heart of the Swarm used to be a lot, or just other times in the StarCraft 2, it was a lot about dropping all over. And now that fell off. Terran seems to be more about those technicality wins as opposed to just dropping and trying to pull your opponent apart. Because the other races and players got so good at defending that because they're like, it's Terran, they're gonna drop me every game all over, I gotta be in position for that. And Terran still tries, but they do tend to try and sneak games in other ways these days. That wall is up for TY, and now is Rook ready to defend this? What does he have? He's currently got 14 links. The magic number is generally 32. However, he does have a lot of queens here. So far, that one overlord being picked off. TY is not even pushing on in with this. Playing very, very respectful. Got to be careful with his medivacs. He's now bouncing around. Gonna actually just look for overlords. Finds another overlord. That's a nice win there. Supply blocks his opponent. Rogue has already fired up 5 more. But still very nicely done, keeping his opponent sweating a little bit. TY, maybe just say waiting for +1, waiting for tanks before he takes this further, because the only thing worse than not getting any damage done with the 2-on-1 is not getting any damage done and losing everything with your 2-on-1. TY gets up a bit of creep, needs to lift up, get those Marines out. He saves a few of them, but loses 4 Marines in the process there for a couple of creep tumors. That's one of those things, it's like, was that really worth it? And if you ask TY, he'd probably say, no, it wasn't. But here we go. Now TY is looking to bring this further. He's following it up with tanks. This is a very interesting variety. Here he's going to have tanks. He's going to have combat shield relatively soon, about 30 seconds. And we'll see if he can catch Rogue off guard with this, because tanks are very good versus Banelings. And sometimes this can just knock off a Zerg if they take the engagement poorly. Because this is still stimmed Marines. This is going to be just Lings, Queens with slow Banes versus tanks and Marines, which are now going to be getting set up in a very, very good position. Looks like Rogue's probably just going to try and collapse on top of this army, but TY throwing up a bunker. That's going to really help out here, and the gas geysers, not going to be happening here for TY. Or for Rogue, pardon me. TY shutting them down. All the while this is going up, a third CC is coming up. Extra siege tanks, Marines on the way. TY locking down this position. No gas. Drones being shelled at. And Rogue, he wants to engage into this position. There's tanks and bunkers, though, and that makes it not easy to engage into. He's going for a mother of all surrounds. TY, he's going to take a favorable trade regardless, I think. Lings are crashing on in here. I don't know if Rogue can clean this up. It doesn't look like he can quite. The 2 tanks remain standing, and that could have just been TY taking the game, because Rogue has spent everything trying to break that. He went in with all of his Lings and his Banes, and TY, just with bunkers set up, was in a fantastic spot right now. Queens can't engage these Marines without getting shelled by tanks, so they are going to be getting picked off left and right. And then there's not a lot. Rogue just hasn't been allowed a third base. Those Marines going to pick off that one other Queen. And even if this attack gets shut down at this point, it has done a world of damage already. TY with a very strong opening once again, going to be knocking off this Queen, knocking off so many drones. Just these 2 Marines are killing drones here. TY even coming on in. Medivacs healing a Marine or 2, keeping them going, but Still, no, that was a fantastic trade for TY. He delayed his own third, yes. He delayed his upgrades, yes, but he is in a pretty good spot after that. Rogue kept low on drones for quite a while. Reaper's still alive. Testament to TY not using F2. And now the third base is going to be getting secured by the Terran. Here comes in TY. He's going for a big drop in towards the Zerg base. Actually just unloads here, setting up at the 4th base. More tanks getting set up. He says, hello, hello, Zerg player. You've suddenly got to deal with 4 tanks. You had a tough time with the first push. Here's another one. The 4th base of Rogue is going down, no questions asked. The question is, though, can he get damage done with his counterattack and TY with plenty of reinforcements? Saying, no, he can't. So this is actually TY taking his position from a pretty darn good one to a fantastic one. Rogue already has another 4th base on the way, but still, this has been fantastic damage getting done by TY. Knocking off this base here. Let's have a look. TY just hanging back for now. Going for a drop. Hitting Zerg all over the place is still a very, very valid strategy. And now he's just pulling back, though, and he's got a much superior army to his opponent. He might just go in for a kill move at this point. Rogue's creep spread is very good as this game has been going on, so that's very nice for him. But all those banelings, they get found. Not getting a ton done there. Meanwhile, TY keeping the pressure on his opponent. Those Marines dropping a little bit close for comfort. They're going to get cleaned up. Bit of counterattack going on here. Hole in TY's wall. And now we see TY going to be moving across the map. Tanks, Liberators. Oh, here comes in Lings and Banelings. Rogue is going for a counterattack. He's tried to get something done this time. TY's 3rd base is longer exposed. SCVs are going to scatter, but when there's that many Banes, it's not easy to do. So TY actually is pulled back by Rogue. So Rogue finally getting a decisive move in here. A move that's allowing him to pull TY back. He did economic damage. He did a fair bit of economic damage. TY down to 44 workers. And Rogue buying himself some oh-so-critical time. Lings even broke a hole in the wall to escape. And that is just beautifully done by Rogue. TY has himself a 4th base that he's going to be able to take. And he's still got himself a very nice army. However, Rogue, his creep spread is incredible. He's getting up a ton of Banelings. TY could be in a world of bother right now. I mean, the counterattacks have just been continuous. TY is getting up a 4th orbital, so just making a statement there that he don't need no planetary. But if Rogue gets more counterattacks off, like, even that counterattack might have just been enough to put Rogue at a fantastic spot, because TY down to 47 workers, Rogue up to 77 at this point. Army supply is ahead for TY. He's got Liberators, he's got tanks. However, TY is stepping onto a lot of creep, and while Rogue's army supply is down, he's got 46 Banelings with this, and meanwhile another counterattack being queued up. There is tanks and Marines in order to try and hold off to this one, but this is going to be TY losing more workers. He's rallying out as much as he can to try and hold on. He moves forward, he picks off the base, while dropping at another location here. However, he needs to do critical damage back to Rogue. The 3rd base of TY not mining at all. The counterattacks have been absolutely massive. TY likes this spot, getting tanks set up here. Keep in mind, there is no real anti-air here for Rogue, actually, other than the Queen. So these Lings and Banes got to get everything done as this is going on. They're coming on in, they're attacking into tanks and Liberators. TY, he probably just needs to split and try and hold on. A lot of Banes have crashed forward. TY's got Liberators still in the air, which have got a lot of shots off. The Queens, though, aren't in position now. Marines are trading out the best as they can. They have been off this position, it seems. The Liberators are still standing strong. However, TY has got to probably retreat here. Liberator going to be getting picked off. TY did not manage to kill Rogue there. He knocked him down significantly in army supply. He's got a decent amount of army units rallied out behind this. However, Rogue's economy is still very strong. He is a 4-base Zerg. TY's got himself a 4th orbital, but he was knocked down so many workers here. And as a result, TY just continuously dropping here, setting up more Liberators. This could actually be what he needs. Focusing down the Queens, lifting on up here. If these Liberators pick off the Queens, then TY is actually unopposed in that sense. This Liberator going to reposition, so actually doing a great job picking off this location. Banelands are rolling forward, but the Liberator is going to clean everything up in TY. He can just unload the Marines here using this funny air technicality here, in which Rogue, who's been defending with Ling Bane this entire game, is finally going to be getting punished for that, it seems. Banelings rolling into Liberators, never a comfortable thing. This Liberator, how many kills does it have? 25 kills, and TY actually takes it. Rogue taps on out. GG.